Welcome to Tulare-kings Right to Life's Roe v. Wade Memorial Observance 2.0. Thank you for joining us, and we're sorry we're having a couple little technical difficulties this evening, but this is our first time having a live online event, and we really just want to thank you for those of you who are logging in tonight. I'd like to introduce some of our staff and participants in the show tonight. I'm Kelly Quinn, Executive Director of Tulare-kings Right to Life, and I have with me on set this evening Jess Warkentine, Director of Voices for Life, which is our youth and young adult community outreach program.
Hey, Kelly, how are you doing?
Great, thanks. I'm so glad that you're here tonight, Jess.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I also want to introduce to you Mari Lupercio, Director of our Latinos for Life, which is our Hispanic outreach program. She's working behind the scenes tonight. And also we have Monique Tyler, Executive Administrative Assistant here at TKRL. You'll be seeing more of Monique in here in just a little while. And Carmelo Reese, we could not do this without mentioning him. He's our senior producer of our Life Chat podcast, and he's also helping us out on production this evening. So just want to briefly go over the order of service for the show tonight. We'll have a mix of live and pre-recorded video segments, just a couple of brief video segments, and you'll have a chance to participate in some live Q&A at the end of the show. Feel free to submit your questions and comments as they arise, and we'll try to get to them all by the end of the show. However, if we do have too many questions, we will have to wrap up the live portion, but we will continue to respond to those after the show. And just on a quick side note, since this is a memorial observance and we're here to honor the lives of the unborn, we will not immediately be responding to any arguments or debates during the show. But we'll be happy to engage those viewers after the live portion ends. Of course, no trolls. And again, thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoy the program.
Not everyone is familiar with when and how abortion became legal in our country. Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So many people know the case Roe v. Wade, but most people don't know the background behind it. And so it started in Texas in 1970 when a woman named Norma McCorvey was 21 years old and pregnant with her third child. She was single and she was looking for a way out. What she found was two lawyers who were looking for a plaintiff to use to further their agenda. And after 3 years of trials, which Norma did not attend, and her baby was adopted, they were able to finalize the law of Roe v. Wade, which is saying that the woman has a right to privacy. And because they said that a woman had a right to privacy, that suddenly meant that abortion was now legalized in the United States. We fast forward now to January 22nd, 2017. The current situation here in California is that abortion is legal through all 9 months of pregnancy. And most people feel that there should be at least a cutoff of 24 weeks. But here in California, they can go all the way up until that baby is ready to be born and it is ready to live a life and thrive. And what we are saying is that that baby still has no choice, has no options, and has no rights. Also, most people don't know that there is no parental consent required for a child over the age of 13. So as long as your child is 13 or over, and usually there's no way to prove that as long as they come up with the right birthday, they are allowed to go to Planned Parenthood and they can see the doctor, they can see the nurses, and they can have the abortion procedure done without you as the parent ever even knowing that this happened to your child. Right now, the stats in the United States are about 1 in 4 pregnancies end in abortion. And so what we're looking at is that when we go into a room of 20 women, 5 of those women have had abortions, and those 5 women usually don't know how to reach out, don't know how to say that they're struggling, don't know how to say that they're having a hard time moving on from the abortion that they've had in their past. And all of this was because of a woman who really doesn't even believe in abortion.
All of this resulted from the Roe v. Wade decision, yet Jane Roe, Norma McCorvey herself, has since become pro-life after learning the reality of what resulted from the document she signed. I think it's safe to say that the entire abortion industry is based on a lie. I am dedicated to spending the rest of my life undoing the law that bears my name. Norma McCorvey.
As the Roe v. Wade decision opened the nation to this unrestricted abortion access, it wound up creating an entire industry for abortion businesses to tiptoe their way to wealth. As you may know, Planned Parenthood is the nation's biggest abortion provider, yet they're famous for listing abortions as only 3% of their business. The following short video sheds light on Planned Parenthood's 3% math, how it was achieved, and what the numbers look like in reality.
America's largest abortion chain, Planned Parenthood, claims over and over and over again that abortion is only 3% of the services that they offer.
That's your self-reported abortion statistic.
3% of all the procedures we provide.
It's in their annual report. It's on their website. And their supporters say it all the time.
And abortions only comprise 3% of Planned Parenthood's health services.
Abortion services only account for about 3%.
Because only 3% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortions.
3% of patients visit Planned Parenthood for a safe and legal abortion.
Here's why that statistic is completely bogus, and why the senior editor of the online magazine Slate said that the 3% stat was the, quote, most meaningless abortion statistic ever, and why the Washington Post fact checker gave Planned Parenthood's 3% statistic 3 Pinocchios, marking it as, quote, very misleading. Let's look at the numbers. According to their own annual report, Planned Parenthood commits over 300,000 abortions per year. Last year alone, they did 323,999 abortions, which averages to 887 abortions per day, 37 abortions per hour, 1 abortion every 97 seconds. Again, Planned Parenthood commits 1 abortion every 97 seconds. But how much of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion? Well, let's divide the number of abortions they do in a year by the number of patients they see in a year. 323,999 abortions for 2.5 million patients means that 1 in 8 patients who walk into Planned Parenthood will undergo an abortion. Not 1 in 33, Elizabeth Warren, 1 in 8. It's easy to see where Planned Parenthood's priorities are. They commit 160 abortions for every 1 adoption referral. Though Planned Parenthood constantly talks about their breast exams and Pap tests, they only do less than 1% of the nation's Pap tests and 1.8% of the nation's breast exams, while they do 30.6%, a third of the nation's abortions. But that's a public relations problem. So Planned Parenthood came up with a creative way to make their big business, abortion, look very small. To get the 3% figure, Planned Parenthood divides abortions by the number of so-called services, which they define as a discrete clinical interaction. And they count all these services equally, regardless of the cost, time, or effort it takes to render that service. So an entire abortion procedure, which can cost from $390 to $1,500, is counted the same as a pregnancy test, which a girl could get at a pharmacy for $10. In this way, Planned Parenthood is able to count 9.4 million services. Divide 323,999 abortions by 9.4 million services, and they get 3%. It's easy to see why this math is completely ridiculous. Say a woman goes to Planned Parenthood to get an abortion. She gets her pregnancy test, the abortion procedure, an STI test, and some contraceptives. In one visit, she gets 4 services, one of which is the actual abortion. So Planned Parenthood would say that abortion was only 25% of what they did for that woman, who came into the clinic only for an abortion. Well, by this math, even if 100% of Planned Parenthood patients got an abortion, they would still say abortion is only 25% of their services. Such distorted calculations could be used to obscure the purpose of any business. It would be like the NFL saying that because they sold 5 million hot dogs in a season and there were only 256 games, football is only 0.005% of what they do. Or it'd be like a steakhouse saying, actually, steak is only a very small percentage of what we serve because we also serve salad, mashed potatoes, french fries, beer, wine, soda, water, butter, salt, pepper, ketchup, toothpicks, and breath mints. We'd say, yeah, right, you're a steakhouse. just like Planned Parenthood is an abortion corporation.
The sentiment of abortion rights proponents is that having an abortion is necessary. It's a routine part of women's health care. But the following video testimony illustrates how abortion does affect women, and it isn't always so simple.
Hi, my name is Carrie Guy. This year represents the 20-year anniversary of my abortion, which was the summer following my high school graduation. When I look back over the last 20 years, I see that abortion has affected me in a lot of ways. Initially it was I was hit with a depression that was pretty bad. The joke then was that I cried so much that I created another ocean in our world, because it really was something that I was against as a belief. And so having made that choice really was something I couldn't live with. I was lucky and was able to get help pretty quickly and be able to walk the journey toward healing, and be able to face that. But abortion is a loss. It's a grief that we have to face and really face the rest of our life. And even though, it doesn't plague me every day, I get to see how my child would have fit into my world. When I first got married, my husband had children of his own, and I realized that I could have brought my son into that relationship and into that life. Then there were years where we couldn't get pregnant, and having to face the abortion again in light of the fact that I wanted children so badly was an area that I had to once again grieve. And even now, I have two children, 5 and 1. And as I look at them, my son is the oldest, and I tell him all the time he is my favorite son. And yet I feel guilty when I say that, because I know I have a child in heaven. And I, love them both, even though it's very different. The best thing that we can do is to support women. When someone is trying to make a decision like abortion, oftentimes they're feeling pressure from other people to make that choice. And either they're being forced or they feel forced with their circumstances because they don't feel they have the resources on their own to take care of a child. And if they had more encouraging support from people around them who were going to actually be there for them, I think that would change the landscape of their decision. It's important for us to be able to help people process too, to be able to say, you're the person who has to live with this the rest of your life. So is this something that you want? Is this really the decision that you have in mind for yourself? Because abortion is not a time machine. It does not take us back to before we were pregnant, unfortunately. No matter how much we would like that to be the reality of the situation, it just isn't. I also think we have a really big, important part in helping women who have walked through an abortion to find that freedom. We can't force them, but it is important to face that past, and it's scary. And so to have someone there for you to support you through that is so crucial. And I believe that we can make a difference just by helping one person at a time. Thank you.
As you can see, what's presented by the abortion industry isn't always what it seems. Abortion can leave many, many long-lasting effects for those who've had such an experience.
And that's in addition to the millions of lives lost each and every year. Now we'd like to invite you to join us in honoring those who've lost their lives to abortion with the following short video.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy lives to help us honor and acknowledge all the lives lost and all the lives affected by legalized abortion in our nation. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, live Q&A. So we're just taking a look at some comments and things on Facebook now, and shout outs to a few people we see are watching. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Bobby. We love you. Thanks for watching. And I have Rick and Kim Strid. Thanks for watching. Don't you want to say hi, Mom and Dad?
Hi, Mom and Dad.
And thanks for joining in. And thank you for your comments and compliments. Actually, many people are thanking us for what we're doing here. Not this live video tonight, but the work that we do. And so you are so welcome, and we couldn't do it without you. Each and every one of you who are watching are a part of how this whole thing happens, and how we're able to maintain and stand for what we stand for and spread the awareness and education that we are able to spread in this area. And we are now able to go far beyond Tulare and Kings counties. So thank you all for watching. Shout out to Cheryl and Bill Nicolay.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Pastor Nicolay, Pastors Nicolay. And shout out to Carrie Guy, who can't be watching right now because she's teaching a youth group at her church. But thank you so much, Carrie, for providing that live video testimony. If you all didn't see that, Carrie is from Visalia, so that was not just a live testimony from somebody somewhere across the states. That was somebody right here who's a part of what we do here, who has worked with us, and is definitely a huge part of why we're able to do what we do here at TKRL. A couple more shout outs, I think. Who else do we have here?
Was Christy?
Oh, hi, Christy.
Hi, Christy.
Yes.
We miss you. Thank you for being a part of tonight. We appreciate it.
So excited about, I read a post from Christy earlier that she is working on a Bible study to work with post-abortive women, and so that's super awesome. Thank you, Christy, also for what you do, a part of what we're doing here. And hi, Joel, thanks for watching. And yes, the 3% statistic is something that we hear all the time, and unfortunately something that's easily bought by most of the public. And so we definitely wanted to point that out in this evening's event. And I think that might be it. I see that there were other people watching, so I can't see who you all were, but thank you for coming and watching and joining us and helping to promote what we're doing, not just tonight, but all throughout the year. And we all want to come together and say a quick goodbye to you, so a little bit of live close. We're going to continue to answer comments and questions as they come in, if we get any more after the show. And so,
from all of us here at Tulare-Kings Right to Life, to all of you, have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.